What is going on, Covenant fam? So I had a heck of a day. We'll just say that. Last 2 weeks have been insane. I do have a couple of videos coming up. One is to show you guys the upgrades and downgrades, or inclines and downgrades while in cruise control, and also like how to control the truck like on turns and stuff. I might do a separate video for that one, but another video is I had a subscriber ask me about per diem versus non per diem. It kind of goes in with the pay package that Covenant offers. Sorry, everything I'm saying, I'm recapping in my brain, and then it makes me kind of have like a brain fart. I don't like saying that because it just sounds so funny. But, so per diem versus non per diem, it kind of goes along with pay. It doesn't kind of go along, it does go along with pay. So, because that's like the main topic that everybody like wants to know and they want to like get a handle on, I don't mind doing multiple videos of that. I don't want to flood my channel with pay videos, but I will explain different aspects of pay, and so I'll get that to you guys soon. I don't know how soon, because today is like not a good day. Then I get back on the truck tomorrow, and then while I'm on the truck, I don't really do these kind of things on my 30-minute breaks. I try not to anyway, but if I have to, I will. I just have to make sure that I have the time to write it out. You know what? I'll end up doing it, and then like maybe on one of my 30-minute breaks, or when I first get to the truck tomorrow night, I'll explain it before I even get rolling. So I did tell them it was going to be soon, and I don't want to be a liar. So I want to make sure that I have all that worked out. And then I'll be able to explain that to you guys. It's not as difficult as it sounds. Most people feel that per diem is not worth it. They feel it doesn't really make a difference. But when I explain it, it does make a difference. So, I mean, like, money-wise, yeah, it's probably like only $50 to $100 difference as far as like what you see in your pocket. But it makes a difference like tax-wise, if that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't want to be responsible for keeping my receipts, maintaining my expenses, and all that other stuff, and then having to be able to write off my expenses and my taxes. If you don't do your own taxes, then fine. If you want to like do that to someone, like your tax preparer, and be like, here's all my stuff, you know, and here you go. But if you do your taxes, it's just so much easier to just have Covenant do all that stuff for you. And like I said, it's already like allotted to you. So it's just better to get it done that way. And I'll explain why. But anyway, it's kind of veering off from why I started this video. So I saw on the Facebook page, the Drivers for Covenant, someone had mentioned something about backing. They're looking for a co-driver, right? And someone had mentioned something about backing. I believe he stated that he was looking for a co-driver and someone that is willing to work with him, or you know, be patient with the whole backing thing. Then that would be fine, but he doesn't really need it. It's just like he's still not, I guess, confident or as strong in it as he would like to be, and that's fine. It was, I want to say, courageous for him to say that, because it's kind of hard to admit when you have trouble in this type of how do you say it, industry, because you know, it's like, oh my God, that's so simple. There's so much judgments in this industry, it's insane. So for him to say that he struggles in certain areas or certain aspects of driving, or even just backing, if he's good driving and doing everything else, the maneuvers, turns, all that, he just can't, put it in the hole every single time with little to no, pull-ups or getting out and all that, which is expected. Nobody really does it the first shot. If they do, it was lucky. Until you get good at it. And even then, like, if you're super exhausted and tired, you just been running crazy, if you're being watched, most drivers sit in their trucks and they just watch other drivers back. I mean, you got eyes on you. It's nerve-wracking. You're going to do quite a few pull-ups and getting out and this and that because you don't want to screw up. It's like you're concentrating so hard not to screw up that you end up screwing up, so that's why it takes drivers so long. But point being, I saw that and I was kind of irritated because somebody commented and said that they might want to work on their backing first before they get teamed up, or, which is not possible. You either team or you sit and you don't make money. So that's not possible, and that was dumb for them to say that. And then I believe he said something along the lines of get more practice in instead of you waking up your partner, try to do it on your own no matter how long it takes you. Let me tell you something. The whole point in team driving is so that you can have a backup, right? So I get irritated when drivers is like every man for themselves. Yeah, we went to school. Yeah, we understand. Yeah, we know the concept. But actually doing it and getting everything down packed like immediately is not possible. And if it is, then they're a freak of nature. I'm sorry. It's just, some people have it, some people don't. But for everybody that has been in this for a while to make it seem like it's that simple and everything's going to be perfect. Sorry, I'm trying to find a good angle, but I don't have my magnetic phone holder thing, and that's the only kind of connection I have, so I have to kind of hold it down so it makes me look like I'm all big and tall. I'm not big. I only stand like 5'2", so I'm not some big monstrous like, giant or anything. It's just the camera angle. But anywho, so yeah, I get irritated at the drivers that feel superior to other drivers. And it's like, we all had to start somewhere. Like, turn your nose down and get off your high horse, off your stallion, because you weren't straight out of the womb, back in trucks like a champ. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has their rookie days, right? So, like I said, I commend the driver for admitting that, he's still not strong at backing, and that's okay. The fact that the other driver tried to make him feel like he was basically by himself on his own and he couldn't ask his partner for help, and the excuse was they already have trouble sleeping as it is. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if I were that co-driver, I'd rather get woken up just to back. That's probably going to take 15, 30 minutes to get them in a spot than to get woken up by the authorities because, he or she ended up hitting someone else's truck or hitting someone. And then now you guys are sitting for a while because now he's got an incident. Then you have to have an incident review and all this other stuff. Well, you could have just got out of freaking bed. It's ridiculous. We're out there to be a team. And the whole point of the team is to make sure that you guys have each other's back. So not only that you guys are witnesses to whatever that goes on between, your truck and another truck, or, any kind of incident that could arise, but also to make it be a bit less nerve-wracking, and a bit more comfortable to know that you have someone that has your back, even for the small stuff. You know what I mean? Like, there's other ways that you can, like, get rest or whatever, Covenant understands. If we're not asking for you to fully train your partner. That's ridiculous. But to be honest, I'd rather have somebody that I'm kind of training so I can train them in a way that I feel comfortable, because obviously we feel comfortable in our own driving, right? Like when you're behind the wheel, you're in control, you feel like, woo, you in it, you right? So why wouldn't you want to pass down your knowledge a way that makes things easier for you, yourself, that you figured out being out in experience? Why wouldn't you want to pass that to a new driver so that way, they're kind of taking after you, and that way you have confidence to be able to sleep. You can trust, like, you know what? I'm the one that taught them, so I know that they can handle this. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you want that? Why would you want to sleep or try to sleep with someone that you don't even know if they can handle themselves? Do you know what I mean? Like, if I know that someone's struggling and they're not strong in something, I'm going to make sure that I teach them the best way possible for them to get strong in it. I would feel nervous being paired with someone that's nervous, because that's just, the two don't mix. So I want to say that probably being teamed with someone that's a bit less experienced than you is probably the better thing if you are okay with teaching them your ways. If you are okay with showing them, hey, this is how I do this because it makes it so much easier, and you can groom them into being a driver such as yourself, and then that way you feel comfortable in being teamed with that person. If you guys are able to carry things out and do things the same way, or pretty much the same way, because not everybody understands the same, not everybody is able to execute the same, but at least it'll be similar. So if you can do that and be comfortable and confident that you know that, okay, I know that they know how to do this because I'm the one that taught them, that would make me feel so much better than leaving them for every man for themselves, figure it out, and you back there sleeping, and somehow you end up in a ravine or a ditch somewhere, and it's like, hey, I thought you knew how to do this, and like, hey, I tried to ask you for help, and you'd rather sleep like Sleeping Beauty, so I'm not saying that they have to wake you up for every little thing, but come on, like, don't be a jerk, and help your partner out. That's the whole point in partnership. To be a team is to make sure that that truck runs as smooth as it can, not to be two different style type of drivers and then you guys are fighting over the domination of the truck. It's not gonna work well, so I just thought it was really not smart for that driver to respond that way and tell them that it's better for them not to wake their partner up because they already have a hard enough time trying to sleep. I'm sorry. I didn't know that I had to accommodate for you to be Sleeping Beauty back there. We all get our time to sleep, and it's already bad enough to sleep on the roads with the bumpies. So, I mean, being up for 15, 30 minutes to help your partner get the truck in the hole is not that big of a deal for you to sit there and complain about it. And that's what makes teaming so hard, because you've got drivers that don't mind helping out and doing certain things, and then you got drivers that say, screw you, I'm gonna do my own thing, you figure it out, I just want a team so that I can make money. That is not a good reason to do that. So, I mean, I understand we all have lives, we all have responsibilities and bills and families and things that, that we work hard and we need to be compensated for. Yeah, I get that. But if you're doing it all just for the money, you're never going to be able to find a partner to stay with you. Ever. Because if you're so selfish and you're in it just for you and for the money and all this other shit, sorry, all this other stuff, I'm trying, Lord, I'm trying. It's hard. It's hard to let it go. But if you're in it for yourself and all this other stuff, it's not going to turn out well for you. It's going to be hard to teen you because you're going to be turning your partners off because you have a very cold exterior. You have a very at arm's length type of relationship with your partner, and that is difficult to do because we have to trust each other. And if I can't get in further than arm's length, I can't trust you, just like you can't trust me. There has to be a type of closeness in order for you guys to be able to blend and mesh well. And I'm not talking about, relationship like, you a male driver and you co-drive with a female driver and she kind of hot, and this and that, and you guys be doing this and that and fooling around or whatever, and then when things go south and sour, then you guys can't be team no more. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't mean to mesh well like that, but you need to be able to have a good understanding with your partner, with your co-driver, in order to make the whole ship run smoothly. And those of you that are couples, boyfriend and girlfriend, not so much. And I hate to say it. It's good that if you rolling with your boyfriend, your girlfriend and everything, but if you guys fight all the time and got problems, being in a tight space is not going to be good for you. I'm sorry, it's not. For you guys being in tight quarters, eventually it's going to get to you. And if y'all the type to fight all the time over the littlest things, y'all going to break up. And then guess what? You can't be teamed together. You're not going to go on and be on the truck with that person. I'm sorry, you're just not. People that are engaged, I mean, it's ideal if your relationship is strong, just like boyfriend and girlfriend. If you have a strong foundation with your partner and you guys know that you're going to be together and be down for each other, and it is that, like, that's it, then you should be good. You should be fine. But I'm talking about those that, relationship is flimsy, it's on and off again, and all this other stuff, and the jealousy and everything else is not good. Y'all need to get y'all relationships together before you even think about getting into something like this. So, engaged people, I mean, you one step closer to marriage, but still kind of in the boyfriend-girlfriend category. You have a better chance of having a better foundation. But even still, things can get heated and go wrong and this and that. The point is the foundation needs to be there, strong. You guys are in it. You guys are down for each other to go through whatever you need to go through in order for you guys to make it work. And it doesn't take that long, I promise. Like a few months, 6 months, once you guys get the swing of things, you guys start learning how the company operates, what our customers are, what our pickups are, our drop-offs are, our policies, and this and that. Once you guys get in the groove of things, you guys can start to understand. It's not going to be that difficult. So the tension will be off. What makes things hectic in the beginning is the uncertainty, not knowing what to expect. That's what makes it, it's the stress levels that intensify all the problems that you're going to face. So, the waiting times, the getting the truck assigned, the back and forth, all this stuff. And it happens to everybody that comes in new. They have to get you in the system. Payroll might screw up a couple of times. When I was first starting, my paycheck got screwed up a couple of times, but you know what? All I did was let them know, hey, I ran these miles. Why does it look like this? What was taken from here? Why did these miles get added on there? So, there is a way for them to iron it out. When you're first starting, a lot of things are brand new. And so there's different ways that it gets taken care of or handled or done, or however you want to word it. So when all those things are going, everything's new, you're getting to know people for the first time, your fleet managers, the supervisors, the phone calls and all this stuff, the recruiters, everybody, as you're going through this whole process, it's confusing. You have a lot of questions, and the stress on top of your everyday other problems, your problems at home, and all that other stuff, it gets to you. So if you guys are able to make it through all that, you guys get on your truck, everything's fine, you're settled, you start running loads, everything's good, then you'll be fine. Like, you'll be able to make it through, and you just go back to having your regular problems and not the stress of, oh my God, what's going to happen? I don't know who to talk to about this or whatever. So with that being said, all my married people, you've been with your partner for a while, depending on how long you've been married. If you just got married and you're in the honeymoon stage or phase or whatever, you should be fine. It's just normal still boyfriend, girlfriend stuff, but only it's just legal. And all my people that have been married for years, I'm talking years, you've been with the same partner 5, 10, 15, 25 years, you got a whole different set of problems. You love your partner, you've been through, the mud together, but at the same time, you also know how to press each other's buttons. You know how to get under each other's skin. So again, being in tight quarters, being, in a truck, you're closed in. Sometimes you're waiting on a load. Sometimes, you're getting a different message from somebody else, and then somebody else comes through and sends you a message that says something completely different. Things like that. So it becomes, again, stressful, and certain things that you guys have to deal with. And when somebody get in that funky mood, and I'm going to use the female wives, I'm sorry, but we are sensitive creatures. We are touchy, and anything that we say, and once we get in our moods and we don't feel like being bothered, they could say or do anything and it'll just set us off. So if you're already feeling that type of way, you already got some issues, and then they say something and make it worse, and it's like, oh, I really don't like you. And you start doing stuff to get under their skin because now you mad. You like big mad. So if that's the case and that's what's going to happen, you guys need to come to an understanding of, have a conversation. The stress level is going to get to us, babe. It's going to get to us. So we just got to take a breather, separate. If y'all in the hotel, one stay in the room, the other one walk out the room. Take a walk, go do something. There's a way for you to defuse the problem. And it's the same thing when you guys are on the truck. It's tight quarters, but it's still separated by a curtain. If you both are in the front of the cab, and one's in the jump seat, the other one's driving, you guys are having a conversation, whatever, it gets heated somehow, some way. Passenger gets to go in the back, close the curtain. You know what? Let's take a breather. I don't want to talk about it. We're just going to leave it be until we stop somewhere, and then maybe we can take that time and iron it out. There's ways to work stuff out without it blowing into this big old thing, and then next thing you know, you're not with your partner no more. You need a co-driver. Like, your goal is to make sure that you do everything that you can to make sure that things run as smooth as possible. Unless it's a situation that you just cannot get through, you can't stand, you're not going to stand for, then that's different. That's way different. And there's different ways to also handle that. But just on the surface, I'd say being with your significant other in this industry as a partner is probably 10 times better than being teamed with a stranger. Now, there's nothing wrong with being teamed with a stranger. As long as you're a good person, you have respect and you understand that it's new, you don't know them just like they don't know you. You have to build that trust and work with this person in tight quarters, and you're asked to trust them on a whim. So I get it. It's not very difficult though. For some it may be, because just the way that their personality, the way they were brought up, they're introverts, extroverts, however you want to look at it. So it may be difficult for some. But those of you that have a clear cut understanding that not everything is perfect in the beginning, there's going to be some ripples, then, you know, you should be all right. But I'd say being in a relationship with your partner and teaming with them is probably a better shot than being teamed with a stranger. Now, I'm not trying to discourage those that don't have nobody and they're single and they come in and they don't have no partner and this and that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that is a better and a for sure way that you would actually get through the process a lot faster. But being teamed with a stranger is, I want to say, almost as easy, depending on the type of person you are. So I can be teamed with pretty much anyone. And I'm not saying that to brag and, you know, oh, I'm this and I'm that and, you know, pop my collar type stuff. I don't even know if people say that anymore. I told you I'm old. So I'm not saying that to sound or seem superior. It's having a clear understanding that you're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that you succeed. Now, I don't fight with people just to fight with them. I'm petty, and I'm going to tell you, for real, I've told you, I'm honest on my channel. I am very petty. I call myself the queen of petty, because I've always been the type, don't do something to me if you don't want something to get done back to you, right? And I will really think about it to make sure that it affects you and possibly other people that surround you. And I know that sounds bad, and probably y'all looking at me like, oh, I don't know if I like you no more. And that's okay. That's okay. I can't deny who I am. But I will say this. It takes me a long time to get there. I'm not petty and I'm not mean just because I feel like it. You really have to do something to me in order for me to get there. So I'm very easygoing, very understanding. I work around other people. So anybody that I had gotten teamed with usually came with their own truck. I have never been seated first on a truck, ever. And I'm not sour about that. I'm not. But anytime I had to get re-teamed, Covenant would take the truck that I had and put me on someone else's truck. So I've always been second seat. And again, it doesn't bother me at all. So because that person that comes first seat, now it's both of our truck, but because that person that comes first seat came with the truck, they've grown accustomed to how they have things. So if I get left with certain cabinets, guess what? I make do with those cabinets. I don't complain. I don't say, well, how about you stick to these cabinets and I'll stick to these cabinets. For what? I travel with light stuff anyway. Why am I going to cause waves for something so frivolous? So I put my stuff in the cabinets that I was allotted to have. Plain and simple. You know, if they have their bills in a certain place, I like my bills in the driver's side door. But if they like their bills in the cabinet above the driver's seat, if that's where they have them, why am I going to change that? Why am I going to twist it around? I grow accustomed to what they have. So I'm going to go to the top cabinet above the driver's seat and I'm going to put the bills in there. If that's where they have them. The cover sheets, if they have them like at the top, that's kind of like a shelf, like above the cabinets, I'm going to leave them there. So Just stuff like that. Little things like that you accommodate. Don't be a thorn in someone's foot, you know. And I'm not saying that you have to completely bend to their will and do what they say, but over the small things, that's just dumb. So, you know, and it makes you teamable because you're not causing static. You're not fighting over the small things. Well, I like my bills in the driver's side door, so that's where I'm going to put them. You can put them wherever you want to put them, but I'm going to put them in the driver's side door. You can't do that because then you got bills on the driver's side door. You got bills above the cabinet. I mean, in the cabinet above the driver's seat. So it's like now you got bills everywhere. Then you don't know when you took the bills or who took the bills. You got to look through them and search for dates, and they're going to be all mixed up by a week. You know, it's dumb. It's pointless. Certain things you could talk about. Well, do you mind if we, you know, kind of do it here so that way it's easier access for both of us? Stuff like that. Have a conversation with your person. Have a conversation with them. It's not like yours or mine. It's ours. The truck is ours. The blank cover sheets are ours. You know, it's anything that's communal, it's both of yours. So it's not his or hers, it's ours. You know, it's just simple things like that, guys. It's teaming is not hard. Teaming's not hard. It hasn't ever been hard. People make it hard. People make things so complicated that it's just undesirable, and it puts a bad taste in people's mouths. And I think that's where teaming kind of turns people off, because they're afraid that this person's going to be difficult. This person's not going to like this. This person's going to tell me that this is bad, or that I'm doing this wrong, or they're not going to respect my things. They're going to be going through my stuff. And I'm not saying that these things don't happen, but I don't have control over those people. I am able to only do so much with the reach that I have, and I'm just thankful that you guys are here, you know, so that I can reach whoever I can. And I'm hoping that the more drivers that implement this kind of behavior with teaming, eventually it'll trickle throughout the industry, because I know that it's bad. And a lot of companies within the industry went to teaming, you know, because they know that it's more money. They know they can charge more, you know. But Covenant was one of the front runners to you know, implement teaming. So it's just, I want you guys to understand that it's not a bad thing. You're there with your partner to help them so the truck runs smoothly, so you guys have a strong foundation, whether you be in a relationship, you know the person, your brothers, your cousins, your brother and sister, your mom and child, dad and child, you know, anything like that, uncle and nephew, or uncle and niece, however you want to look at it. If you're in a relationship, or if you're teamed with a complete stranger, there is a way that you can team successfully and it not be a problem, because you guys are running the truck with a clear-cut understanding of what's going to benefit you as a team, not what's going to benefit you individually when you're the one running the truck. Okay? My co-driver, love her to death. She loves to report to me everything that she does. I tell her all the time, you're fine. That's what I have to tell her, you're fine. But she'll tell me, oh, you know, she'll pull into a pump that's broken, and it, you know, it's got the cones or whatever. And she'll pull into a pump that's broken. She'll wake me up. I'll get down. And as I'm still trying to wake up, she's explaining to me, oh, well, I just parked right here because this pump is broken. She goes, and, you know, we're not going to be here that long. You're fine. It doesn't, you're the one driving. You're the one in the seat. you call the shots on how you run the truck. But it's nice that she wants to have that communication, but I don't need every single report type of thing. And again, love her to death. I have no issues with her. We get along, we laugh, we tell jokes, and she was a stranger co-driver. I don't know her. And I know her now, but I didn't know her when we got teamed together. And it just so happened that we hit it off right off the bat. We were lucky, but she's my 5th co-driver. So it took me 4 others before I got to her. But it's just little things like that. And that's what I'm saying. So however you guys feel that the truck is going to run smooth, that you guys will be able to get done everything that needs to get done, so that way you guys can keep on rolling, racking in miles, leave the small stuff behind. You don't want to make a big deal about the smallest thing and be like, it's the principal. Sure, I hope it's the principal when you're at the terminal looking for a co-driver, because if you're going to be stubborn about the small things, it's going to be hard to team you, because you're not doing what's necessary to get the job done. So it's like, don't sweat the small stuff. Isn't that what they say? Don't sweat the small stuff. So, again, teaming is not difficult if you don't make it difficult. Don't make it difficult, guys. It's not worth it at all to make it difficult. Then you don't have a co-driver, then you're not making money, and then you end up leaving and you go to another company. You don't want to make things hard for your fleet team. You don't want to cause waves with them and talk all kinds of mess, give them ultimatums and things like that. It's not going to work well for you. It's not, because they're just going to make things difficult, and then you'll find yourself making a decision on whether you want to stay or you want to go. And if you go, good luck finding another company to pay what Covenant pays. Majority of everybody that leaves, and I said this in a video not too long ago, majority of everybody that leaves comes back to Covenant. They find their way back, and depending on how you left, Covenant will rehire you. My first co-driver, I know I told you guys that she was unhappy about the pay when I was talking about getting stuck and all that stuff, and when I told the story of my grandpa that I almost quit. My first co-driver, she went back to Washington. She left. She came back to Covenant. I didn't mention that in the video, and I realized it when I went back to recap and watch it. But she came back. She came back to Covenant, and she tried to team with me, but I was already teamed up, and I wasn't about to leave my partner hanging just to accommodate her. She chose to leave, and then she decided to come back. And then she didn't even stay long after that, I think, because she struggled with finding a co-driver or whatever. They were probably making it difficult for her to come back in. But she ended up leaving again. And I want to say she came back again, but then she left again. So, and I think she's fine. Like, she stayed away. Like, she stayed gone after that. But there's quite a few people. There's trainers that make it all the way up to trainer, certified trainer, master trainer, and then they leave the company and they stay gone. They go work for another company. They go local, and then guess what? They find their way back to Covenant. So it's like, why go through all that trouble? I understand if you absolutely have no choice and it's necessary. I get that. Totally get that. But if you're just doing it because you're being stubborn and you just want to throw a tantrum and it's not working out for you right now, and you decide, well, I'm just going to go, and then you leave, and then you find out that you're not happy anywhere else, and then you decide to come back, like, you just look foolish at that point. So I stayed. I've been with them for 5 years straight. Well, it'll be 5 years this August straight. Covenant's the only company I've ever worked for straight out of school. And I told you guys, I struggled in the beginning. I wasn't really making money. We had to sit for loads. We had to keep asking and waiting and this and that. It's a process. You have to get in it. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but I came in just before winter season when I came in. So I started running with my first co-driver in October, in like late October. So comes November and then December and like major holidays and during the winter, freight is very light because nobody's out in the world. Nobody's producing nothing. Nobody's like, in the warehouses, and nobody's doing, what's it called? They're not loading, like they're not like boxing things up. The warehouses are closed during the holidays. And so November is Thanksgiving. So we were good leading up to Thanksgiving. And then Christmas came, and again, people go home for the holidays. Major holidays, they go home. Warehouses are closed. Line haul is closed. Stuff like that. So it was, I don't want to say difficult, but it was definitely an experience, right? And I'm telling you, I called my grandpa and I was like, this ain't it, this ain't working. So, I struggled, you guys. It's not, everybody's going to struggle in the beginning, but I was new in this. Those of us that are experienced now, and you know what to do, you know how to, address your team and this and that, and, I'll show you guys how to do your PTA and ETA and all that stuff so that you guys can be geared for the next load, and show them that you have the availability. And performance is everything. A lot of people don't feel that they monitor performance. They do. They know when your truck is moving, when it's not moving, where you are, how long you've been there. Like, they're able to see all that. When you pick up, when you're doing workflow, when you hit that you've arrived, all that stuff is documented. It's clocked at the time that you're doing it. So as long as you can, perform great, then they know that you're dependable. You're going to get the loads over somebody that their performance is mediocre or, poor, because the whole point of our company is to keep our customers. And if our customers aren't happy, then what are we doing? What are we doing? So they're going to send their top performers to keep our customers happy. And the ones that are poor performers or mediocre performers, they get loads based off of what's left over, the scraps. Right? If all the top performers are busy, they're already under loads or on home time, guess what? They got to trickle down the loads to the other ones. And I'm not trying to sound mean, you guys. I'm really not. The point is that if you give it your all, you will get the benefits. And a lot of people feel like, well, why am I going to put my all into everything, and they don't treat me right and this and that? And you see it all the time. They make fun of them all the time about, oh, we're not appreciated and this and that. Those of us that get the loads and we get big checks, that's appreciation to me. I'm sorry. I don't care about having no office party. I don't want no office party. I'd rather be at home with my big paycheck. That's where I want to be. I don't want to be in the office. I don't want to be in people's face. I don't want balloons. I don't want none of that stuff. So to me, my paycheck is my appreciation. So for them to be like, oh, they don't appreciate us, they don't do this fancy stuff, they don't put us in no nice hotel, they don't give us no bonuses and this and that. Companies that do bonuses, and I'm going to tell you, Covenant used to do bonuses. Okay? Covenant used to do bonuses, and they phased them out to give us a higher cents per mile package, right? I mean, it's down a little bit now, but that's because everything with the industry kind of went down. But when I first started with Covenant, we had bonuses like crazy. Like, I was like, dang, we get a bonus for this too? And a bonus for that too? Dang, I mean, they at least had like 5 bonus programs running, right? But it was low cents per mile. Well, it was lower cents per mile, right? It was pretty much like around what everybody else was paying. So it kind of still balanced out to equal the same thing. So you got, kind of a lower cents per mile plus the bonus, right? Well, they decided, well, let's phase out all these bonuses, factor it into the cents per mile. We got like a 10 to 12 cents per mile increase, which was their biggest pay raise that they had in a really long time, or I want to say ever. I think they said ever, that was the biggest pay raise that they've ever done. So a lot of people are like, y'all don't get no bonuses no more, ha 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 ha, and all this stuff. And it's like, we don't get bonuses quarterly, but technically I get my bonus every week with my cents per mile. So we still get our bonuses. It's just factored into what we get, our cents per mile. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Only they have to wait for theirs. And they have to work, I want to say, maybe 5 times harder to prove themselves to show that they even earned that bonus, right? And then they have to wait I think it's every 3 months, or every company's different. So however they want to pay it out or whatever. But the whole point is that y'all sitting up here and y'all fussing and you like, we got a cents per mile, we got a bonus and this and that. Yeah, well, we got our stuff too. But ours is all together. And I'd rather get a higher cents per mile, because depending on how many miles I gain, that ups my paycheck. So it's like, people find the dumbest things and the dumbest reasons to talk crap about Covenant, and we're still one of the highest paying companies versus everybody else. And I talk to a lot of people and a lot of drivers that have worked for other companies, and they all say that Covenant pays the highest. Right now, Knight don't get paid that much, Swift don't get paid that much, ShipX don't get paid that. I just found out about ShipX. And that's embarrassing. I am sorry. I won't ever work for ShipX. I won't. And if one of their drivers is seeing this, I'm sorry, baby. But they are robbing you guys. They're robbing you, because they basically get paid on salary. Covenant. Sorry, I'm going north, they're going south. They basically get paid salary. Because there's nowhere to move from there. It's set no matter what miles you do. If you get rerouted, if you do any of that stuff, same miles, same pay. Like, I just don't get how drivers think, I'm getting this and I'm getting that. They do bonuses, but you have to run a certain set of miles within the month being solo. That almost seems impossible. If you're a driver, like if you really get down and drive and you run your clock, you should be able to make at least 1 or 2 of the bonuses. But if you don't, and you only running 200 miles, 250, you'll never reach those bonuses, baby. And you stuck getting, I think it was $1,100 or $1,200 for the week, running long miles, right? Running long miles. I couldn't do it. I could not see that's like getting paid 43, I did the math. It was like 43 cents per mile. Like, say, what? Who's happy with that? Because I can't even live off 50 cents a mile. So can you imagine living on 43 cents a mile? Come on. Like, we know better than that. So, but hey, some people are comfortable with that, because guess what? They solo. Oh, well, I'm solo and I get to have my own truck and run my own truck and do it the way I want to do it. It's simple. And then, okay, you do that and you stay in your simple lane, in your simple life, making 43 cents a mile. Because I'd rather be teamed and get to know somebody and have a companion and have a backup and all that stuff and a teammate and all that and get paid the big bucks. I'd rather get paid 80-something cents a mile than to get paid 40-something cents a mile. That's double what you get paid. That's insane. That's crazy to me. Like, who, Lord. Y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all, you get the point. So, point is that most companies, they pay you, I want to say pennies, but that's kind of funny because we do get pennies. We get 1, 2, 3 cents a mile. And a lot of people still find that weird that we work for pennies, But they pay you so little. JB Hunt don't pay well either. They may have a lot of trucks, they may have a lot of loads and all this other stuff, but we get paid the big bucks to do big buck type of accounts, big type of work, big buck type of work. And these mediocre drivers, sorry to say, but they're everywhere. They're in every company, including ours. They kind of ruin it for everybody. But if I can reach enough people and we take over and we dominate, then maybe, just maybe, we could get this industry back. Just maybe. Because they coming in to regulate, boy. They really are. And I don't like it. Me no likey at all. But teaming is not bad. It's not bad at all. And it's beneficial and it's simple. People make teaming hard because they refuse to budge, they refuse to compromise. And I think that's where they're getting turned off by it, because bad experiences from other people that don't know how to team, and it's unfortunate. So just keep that in mind, you guys. These videos have been getting way lengthy. I'm so sorry that I just start going and rambling and talking about various things. But it's all information you guys need to know. It's me having a conversation with you so that you understand how my mind works, how I operate within the industry, and how I get as far as I do. I have a lot of, I don't want to call them enemies. I have a lot of people on the Covenant page that don't like me very, very much. They don't like me very much. And that's okay by me. The point of me saying that is they don't like me because I've become successful within Covenant. Not within the industry, because I haven't been out in the industry long. And I don't know everything there is to know about trucking. Okay? They don't like me because I've made it through within Covenant, and I've made certain connections with certain people that I'm able to get assisted in areas that they probably couldn't and probably didn't even think about. And them just being stubborn. So they left. And they'd rather make fun of me and say various things about me, to put me down, make me feel bad or whatever. And that, again, that's fine. Things like that don't hurt my feelings. It's irritating, but it doesn't hurt my feelings. It just, to me, it makes them look stupid. It makes them, it shows me more who they are versus me, who I am. But there's a way to get into the industry, get what you need, and be successful in this. Those people were not successful in Covenant, and that's okay, because the type of people that they are, Covenant was not a fit for them. And I just want you guys to be able to find a spot, to have a spot to where you guys are comfortable, you guys are in it, you guys make money, and it's a win-win for yourself as well as Covenant, and you have a career. You know, like I said, I've done a lot of things, and I owe Covenant everything. My house, my cars, my paychecks. You know, like, I owe them a lot, and not everybody can say that about Covenant. And again, that's okay. I hope they find a company that does spoil them and give them everything that they want, like entitled children, and that they don't have to, you know, work hard for it because they just threw a fit and then their company gave them what they wanted. But there's a lot of things that Covenant doesn't cover or pay for, and I find it fine. It doesn't bother me. Like the reserve parking at truck stops. Everybody was freaking out. Oh, my company pays me, reimburse me. Covenant don't reimburse you for paid parking. No. That's why we have points. So technically, Covenant is paying for our parking. It's just not a reimbursement. They pay for it. You can use your points to reserve parking. So that's why every time you fuel, you gain points. And you can use your points for anything in the truck stop. You could purchase stuff, toys, food, energy drinks, soda, stuff for the truck, squeegees, anything in that truck stop or any service they offer, your points can pay for it. And so Covenant pays for your fuel. If Covenant pays for your fuel, you're able to fuel for free out of your pocket. It's free. But Covenant pays a set rate that they pay the truck stops for us to get fuel at our authorized stops, right? So if you're gaining points on Covenant's dime, don't you think Covenant paid for that parking space too? Covenant pays for your showers. Covenant pays for your meals. Covenant pays for your toys, your jewelry, your food. Anything that you want to get, you can buy with points. Covenant pays that, not you. Unless you choose to pay out of your pocket. CB radios, GPS systems, headsets, anything in that truck stop, you can purchase with points. So, what are they complaining about again? Because Covenant doesn't reimburse for paid parking. They paid for it in the first place. They don't have to reimburse you for it. What else did they complain about? Covenant doesn't, oh my God, what did they say? I don't know, it was something else, basically, but they were just complaining about Covenant don't do this, Covenant don't do that. Oh, my company does this. Good for you. Shove it. There was something else I was going to say. It was regarding the points. Oh, when you go to the shop, a lot of drivers don't know this. If you go to a TA or a Petro and you get work done on the truck and Covenant covers the bill, they pay the bill, which they do, breakdown will settle the bill. You can call in to Ultra One and get points added to your employee ID number, like your points card, your Ultra One card, and you can get points for that. So you can gain points even from being in the shop. You can gain points, not just from fueling. You can get points for your truck being in the shop. Not at Freightliner, only at TA and Petro. do the points card. But anyway, this video is going on 1 hour, so I am going to let you guys go, and hopefully that was enough information for you. Maybe it sparked some questions. But until next time, guys, bye!